So I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I would never be one to turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person, say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane.
Mr. President, what do you say to people who view that luxury jet as a personal gift to you? Why not leave it behind?
You're ABC fake news, right?
Why not?
Only ABC, well, a few of you would. Let me tell you, you should be embarrassed asking that question. They're giving us a free jet. I could say, no, don't give us, I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much.
Do you plan to use the plane after you leave office?
No, I don't, no. It would go directly to the library after I leave office. I wouldn't be using it, no. It's an honor to be here. What a great place. What a great place, but more importantly, what great people. I want to thank His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, for that incredible introduction. He's an incredible man. Mohammed, do you sleep at night? How do you sleep? Huh? Just thinking. What a job. He tosses and turns like some of us. Tosses and turns all night. How do I make it even better all night? It's the ones that don't toss and turn. They're the ones that will never take you to the promised land, won't they?
His Excellency, Mr. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense. And a prosperous future. Thank you.
I don't know if you know that you are the first American president to officially to visit Qatar, right? So we're very honored. We're very honored.
Even as we gather tonight, our teams are engaged in intensive diplomacy to secure a ceasefire in Gaza. Mr. President, your involvement could catalyze a breakthrough where others have stalled, but only if done in concert with serious partners.
I just want to thank you for the friendship, for the long-time friendship. We just liked each other. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Really appreciate your confidence and investment. That's your biggest investment that you've ever made, and we really appreciate it, and we're going to treat you very, as you should be, magnificently. I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria in order to give them a chance at greatness. I met the new leader of the country, and he's got a strong past. I'll be very nice. He got a strong past, but I liked him a lot. You're going to have a strong past. You cannot be a weak person. If you're a weak person, we would just be wasting time. We'd like to see if we could solve the Iran problem in an intelligent way as opposed to a brutal way. There's only two, intelligent and brutal. Those are the two alternatives. We've been strong. I want them to succeed. I want them to end up being a great country. Frankly, but they can't have a nuclear weapon. That's the only thing. It's very simple. It's not like I have to give you 30 pages worth of details. There's only one sentence. They can't have a nuclear weapon. And in a certain sense, I guess I'm a good friend, because a lot of people would rather have me take a much more harsh road. But I know that if we can avoid that road, that would be a great thing. And I'd like to do that.
Dozens of Afrikaners who claim discrimination in their home country are heading to the United States,
right,
where your administration is going to welcome them as refugees. Why are you creating an expedited path into the country for Afrikaners but not others?
Because they're being killed. It's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about. Very happy to announce that Idan Alexander, an American citizen who until recently most thought was no longer living, thought was dead, is going to be released. Over the weekend, we reached a breakthrough agreement with China. China's agreed to open up to the United States for trade and everything else. They're very heavy on the fentanyl, and they've agreed that they're going to stop that, and they'll be rewarded. It comes from China. It's amazing. Starting today, the United States will no longer subsidize the health care of foreign countries, which is what we were doing. We're subsidizing others' health care. Countries where they paid a small fraction of what for the same drug, but it's called Most Favored Nation. We are going to pay the lowest price there is in the world. Ozempic costs 10 times more in the United States than in the rest of the developed world. 10 times more. Why? Why? What did we do? Suckers. Basically, what we're doing is equalizing. There's a new word that I came up with, which I think is probably the best word. We're going to equalize. A friend of mine who's a businessman, very, very, very top guy. Most of you would have heard of him. A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman, seriously overweight, and he takes the fat shot drug, very successful, very rich. So, President, could I ask you a question? What? I'm in London, and I just paid for this damn fat drug I take. I said, it's not working. He said, I just paid $88, and in New York I pay $1,300. What the hell is going on?
There has never been a president more willing to stand up to the oligarchs than President Donald Trump.
If you had a child today, would you vaccinate that child for measles?
Probably for measles. My opinions about vaccines are irrelevant. I don't think people should be taking medical advice from me.
You have consistently been undermining the measles vaccine. You told the public that the vaccine wanes very quickly. You went on the Dr. Phil show and said that the measles vaccine was never fully tested for safety. You said there's fetal debris in the measles vaccine. And this morning—
All true.
This morning in
Do
front
you want me to lie to the public?
That's not— none of that is— none of that.
Of course it's true. The budget I'm presenting today supports these goals and reflects.
What steps have you taken to return Mr. Abrego Garcia to allow him to get due process?
Abrego Garcia is in his home country.
What steps have you taken?
If your continued advocacy for him were to—
I'm not advocating for him. I'm advocating for a court order, Madam Secretary. The court order says that you must take steps to follow the court order. You are here under oath. What steps have you taken to return Mr. Abrego Garcia pursuant to this court order?
It's got to be extremely discouraging to be one of your constituents. To see you fight for a terrorist like this and not fight for them is extremely alarming to me.
I'm fighting for due process, and that's under the Constitution. Gentlemen's and you should fight too for due process.
I hope tomorrow the news says they've agreed to a ceasefire. They've agreed to enter serious negotiations. But I'm just giving you my assessment, honestly. I don't think it's going to lead to that. The president is impatient to end this war. Frankly, at this point, I think it's abundantly clear that the only way we're going to have a breakthrough here is between President Trump and President Putin.
Look, nothing's going to happen until Putin and I get together, okay?